The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
Hi, I'm Mary Rozak, Director of Communications for Albany County, and this is Albany County News. In the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to talk about some programs and services that you will find very interesting, I'm sure, and hopefully you or someone you know will be able to benefit from them. We've got some very interesting guests today. They're going to talk about a very interesting program that's going on, and it's been going on in the South Colonie School District. Joining me today are John Cogan and Kim Murray. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. John is a senior and the president of iCARE. We're going to get to that in just a moment. Kim is a sophomore, and you're the president in training. President in training sounds like a very big job.
To fill those shoes, yes.
Wow, what a compliment. Let's talk about iCARE. I know I am familiar with it just a little bit because Albany County has had some involvement. But for those who don't know what iCARE is, John, why don't you start by telling us, what does iCARE, and it literally is I-C-A-R-E, iCARE.
Correct.
What does it stand for, first of all?
iCARE actually stands for Integrity, Community, Accountability, Respect, and Empathy. And those are those are 5 core values that we really push in our school. And each year we try to take a core value and make it even better and make it known to people. But we're constantly working on the word community.
Community. How did iCARE, which you said it's a lot of different responsibility and integrity, and how did that all come about?
Actually, so 4 years ago, there was one student, Jason Neal, who had a grand idea of wanting to start a club, and he didn't know what to do, but he wanted something with character education. And our one principal, Mr. Kachdurian, had been talking to the staff at the high school about getting 5 words that they think really changes a community and makes a community a true community and a good place to good learning environment. And so Jason and Mr. Kachdurian sat down, and Jason had a few supporters, and the first year is more of a, okay, let's think of an idea, let's see what we can do with this idea, small little things. One of the big things that they first did was when the Sandy Hook shootings happened, we had a 26 acts of kindness, and one of the big things that we did that a lot of students in our school participated in was buying black ribbons that you would put on your shirt or your backpack to show your support, and you'd buy them for $1, and they were sold for a while, and they kept selling out, and they had to make them, and that was one of the big things that we iCARE started to do.
So it really is, Kim, getting that whole sense of community for the school. As a sophomore, you've had a little experience being a part of that high school community. Tell me your experience so far with some of the things. I know you were there during Sandy Hook. So tell me some of the things that you've been involved with, or how you felt.
Some of the things we've been involved with, like we did our Rugged Raider Challenge this year, and we have upcoming events, and it really just brings the community and our school community together, and builds on our school.
So as a sophomore, you're the president in training. Did you participate as a freshman to get involved, to know that you wanted to be not only a part of iCARE, but a part of the iCARE leadership?
I was very little involved, but I started getting very involved as a sophomore. But I was in iCARE as a freshman.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw true potential in her, and I had known Kimmy previously from my sister's lacrosse team. She plays with her, and I said to Mr. Kachdurian, there's just one girl, Kimmy Murray, and she's great. She has a good, strong head on her shoulders, and I think she can be the next president of iCARE. When I leave and when the next president goes through, I think Kimmy, has a strong heart for community, and she's shown a lot of support for it.
You have been the president for 2 years. This is your second year.
Correct.
what really drew you? When that whole concept of community and getting the student body involved, what really drew you?
Sure. So, my life has always centered around community. My parents are very involved in the schools, so I've gone to so many events, PTA events, other school events. So I've always been a big community advocate. And when I found out about this club, I said, oh, okay, I'll go try it out a little. And the one president at the time, Rachel Tenney, during my sophomore year when I joined, and she's like, hey, we have a few things coming up. You want to help? You want to come? So she got me involved. So then I started getting myself more involved. And it just so happened last year that one of our seniors was graduating early, and we said, okay, we need a president, and we need a president in training at this time. And everyone kind of looked to me, and I said, okay, as a junior, I'll take over. It's a rare thing that happens for clubs, big school clubs, but I knew that I could take it on, and I knew, I have a very strong passion for making a difference in our community, not only in our school, but in our town.
Well, I'm sitting here and I'm feeling woefully inadequate with my life in general when I hear, such brilliant things coming out of both of your mouths. Let me ask you, like any club, I'm sure there's an ebb and a flow to how many students are involved at any time. But what are we talking? What's a core number of students involved in iCARE?
Well, we had a record-breaking attendance this year in the beginning of the year at 52 kids.
Wow.
But generally we have about 20 to 25 students at each meeting.
Sure.
But at our events, we have over 30 plus students at events volunteering. And our thing is, we get it that high schoolers these days have so many things. They have sports, they have jobs, they have siblings to go take care of. So we get that. And we said, you know what, if you guys can't show up for every meeting on Wednesday, or if you can't show up for any, at least go and try to sign up for an event, to volunteer, and to still show your community support that way.
You have their commitment. You have their commitment
Correct.
that they're going to be involved
Correct.
in some way, shape, or form, and I think that's important. That's very important. So let's talk a little bit about, get into the meat of this a little bit. What's a meeting like? When you start at the beginning of the year, do you already have you from the previous year into the school year decided what you're going to do? Or is that come September when you say, what are we going to do this year? That would seem maybe to be a little late, but I don't know.
Actually, so over the summer, my cabinet and I will meet with Mr. Ketchdurian, and we'll brainstorm some ideas. And so the past 2 years, my sophomore year, 2 years ago, we worked with American Cancer Society for cancer awareness. Last year we tried with both self-image, and at the end of the year with our big event, Raider Fest, we also had the American Cancer Society there helping out too, donating money. But this year we said, how about we change our focus totally and help the veterans and active duty members? And that's how we got involved with, we contacted agencies like Blue Star Mothers and Soldier On, who are now working with us and helping us every day, and we're making them more aware, and we're having assemblies for them.
Mm-hmm. So you have a cause, you have something that there's a goal, and you set up all kinds of things.
Yes.
So there is involvement from the community as well.
Yes, and that's the biggest component. Our Colonie community, we are so lucky to have so many people that want to get involved, and so many people that want to make a change. So one of my big things is involving community, whether it's a business or it's another organization out in the community, whether it's Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, we try to involve them in any other groups in as many things as we can.
So you have meetings. Yep. Is it once a week?
Yes.
On Wednesday, did you say?
Every Wednesday,
Every Wednesday you have a meeting. And so what are the kinds of things that you're talking about at the meeting, and whoever wants to take that?
What we talk about at the meeting is ways to raise money for our...
For your cause?
Yes, for our cause,
yep.
sorry. And upcoming events and who's going to work at which one.
Okay, so you're actually really you're planning your events and coming up with a game plan each time. Do you have greater participation? I'm going to ask what sounds like a sexist question, but is it do you have more young women or more young men, or is it equal balance?
I would have to say it's pretty equal.
Is it really?
It is. It's amazing too. It is, because you'd think that a lot of the guys don't want to maybe do a club or anything, but iCARE is a lot different than a lot of clubs because we want to involve everyone. We want to involve the students that don't really have a place in the school and don't really feel accepted. But we want to show them that you guys are accepted. I start my meetings off every week that I say, hello everyone, welcome to iCARE. We're going to start the meeting now. We're going to start the meeting off how we start every week by saying your name and some cool fact or thing. So I say, hi, I'm John Cogan. I'm the president of iCARE. And I think last time it was, what's your favorite superhero? And so we go around the whole entire room until every student and teacher or administrator, whoever is there in that room, tells us their name and tells us a cool fact.
Well, that sounds interesting, but teachers are involved as well.
Correct, yes.
Other than, I should mention, Tom Cacciadorian, who we've talked about, alluded to a few times. Albany County has been recognized by Albany County as a Citizen of the Month by County Executive Dan McCoy, and is certainly very proud of this program. And very proud of all of the students that have been and continue to be involved. So we should give him a shout out, formal shout out as well. A reminder that I am here today at Albany County News talking with John Cogan and Ken Murray from South Colony Central High School, and we're talking about iCARE. And one of the things that I find most interesting is it's tough sometimes to motivate people. I don't care if you're 50 or if you're 15. It's tough to motivate them. And having a club where people feel not only accepted and that their ideas are welcome, certainly is in some ways, some would say not novel, but it is a novel idea. How do you all continue to motivate each other when you're coming up with different fundraising ideas? I mean, fundraising is tough when you're thinking about planning an event and how you're going to, how do you keep motivated?
Well, and I bet Kimmy can back me up here. I don't go to any meetings upset or depressed or anything, or beat down from the day or the week. Whenever I start my meeting, and even if it's a small meeting just with my cabinet or with a few students, I always have a smile on, and I always try to make sure that I'm spreading my positive feelings so other kids feel motivated to think of the wonderful ideas that we do think of.
Yeah, he starts every meeting very positive, and it just creates an energy in the room that's just a positive energy.
So let's also talk about you've partnered with the American Cancer Society.
Correct.
Raider Fest, huge.
Yes.
I don't think there's anyone that doesn't, when you say Raider Fest, know what Raider Fest is. But in the unlikely event someone out there doesn't know, Raider Fest happens when?
So it actually happens in late May. This year it's happening May 21st.
Okay.
And it's an all-day event filled with, starting off with a carnival for kids. There is a wellness expo with a rock wall and other organization groups there that show you what they do. There's some karate people there. We also have a craft fair going on. There's bounce houses. There's games for the kids to do. And then at the end of the night, for the past two Raider Fest, we have a Relay for Life. We do a luminarious ceremony with lighting up bags filled around the whole track. We do a few laps, and it truly is a gorgeous, gorgeous thing to do. And it's a great, fun day. But this year, actually, if you want to talk a little about this year's.
This year, we're having a STEAM Expo. It's just like STEM, but including art. And at the end, we're having a powder puff game. That's when girls play football. It's our seniors and our juniors going against each other.
Yep.
Really? Yep. So that will be interesting. Having gone to Raider Fest last year, it was one of those things where it rained, it poured,
yes,
it stopped.
Yes.
It rained, it poured, it stopped. I mean, it was just, that was the kind of day. But then it was steamy in time for the walk. But it really is very moving.
Yes.
The walk was very moving last year. But this is going to be interesting. So have people signed up already for the Powder Puff game?
Well, so we rolled it out not too long ago, and so far the juniors and seniors are like, this is great, this is amazing.
Okay.
And we have a huge participation rate in that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine, though, when we're talking about that. I mean, what numbers? You're gonna have to be rotating people in and out in order to get everybody to participate in that game. So what is your goal? Or are you still setting your fundraising goals for?
we don't like to set a true goal, because then we feel that once you get to a goal, you kind of slow down with fundraising. So we always like to say, you know what, it's as much as we can get. So we keep collecting money. We keep getting donations every time we have an event at the school or we host an event. But we've raised so much money for American Cancer Society over the past 2 years. So that Blue Star Mothers and Soldier On are extremely happy.
Oh, certainly.
For us to be fundraising.
So how have they been involved thus far with iCARE? Has anyone come in? I'm going to guess that they probably have come in and talked a little bit about what their organizations are all about.
In the beginning of the year, we had the whole school get together, and there was a presentation about Soldier On and Blue Star Mothers, and we've worked with them with freedom boxes and going to the mall with them, and usually soldiers come in to our meetings to hear us talk and give us ideas and what they need overseas, because sometimes we don't know just what they need and what they want.
Right.
Sure.
And some of the other things we've done was we had Kimmy mentioned earlier, a mud run, the Rugged Raider Patriot Challenge this past October.
That's right.
And it was a full day of, it was a group obstacle course 5K run, and there was a big mud pit toward the end, and there were 10 obstacles, and we actually had Blue Star Mothers and Soldier On there. They had their tables, they had stuff handing out, but they also had participants on the field. They had groups, and they're very much involved, and they stop in sometimes to the school to see what they can do for us or how things are going. And we've built relationships with them now. One of the mothers, the Blue Star Mothers, she loves coming in and talking to us, and she has a great time, and it makes her so happy to come, and it makes her feel that her kids overseas and other kids and other active duty member and veterans really are so lucky to have a group like iCARE raising so much money and doing so much for them.
Oh, that's wonderful. That mud pit at the end, were people running through it, jumping in it?
Yes.
People pay big money to get mud packs. And
yes, we had a team together,
Yeah.
and I know I crawled right down in that mud. I
got mud all over my face.
all over.
Did you really?
And you know what? And it was freezing cold, but there was such a strong feel of spirit with just not our team, but with the whole campus, that everyone got through it and everyone had a great time.
I can imagine when you talk about spirit, when you're covered in mud and you're probably cold, but you've had a great day for a good cause, and it culminates. That's wonderful. Soldier On, I'm sure you obviously know, with Albany County government, has been a great partner.
Yes.
And the project that we're doing in Colonie with Soldier On to establish a campus-like center for veterans is certainly one of those things. The first in New York State, as a matter of fact, here. Yeah. And the Blue Star Mothers, we have a long-standing relationship with them. So how can people get involved? They're hearing about things. The community, I'm sure, Raider Fest, you mark your calendar for May 21st, but there must be all kinds of things that the community can be doing to help in advance, because it takes a community to get everything together. What can they do?
Obviously there's the Rugged Raider Patriot Challenge, and coming up is the chili cook-off. It's on the 22nd of January. And we get the whole community together. The firehouses come and they make chili, and they get a prize for the best chili. And
so where is that held? Right at the school?
It's held at the Colony's Rec Center.
Yep, the village.
On the road.
Yep, the village rec center right behind the firehouse there.
And so when, to put you on the spot, what times does that go on the 22nd?
4 to 8.
Okay, perfect.
And Kimmy actually, I had to give her a little shout out. This still being her first year, she heard about the chili cook-off because she attended last year with her firehouse, and her firehouse actually won, and they had such a great time, and they asked us, when are we coming back? When are you guys doing it again? And Mr. Kachiduri and I were talking. He's like, how about maybe you delegate this event to someone? And he said, can you think of anyone? And I said, you know what, Kimmy Murray would be a wonderful person. So we go up to Kimmy and we throw her this information, and she has turned around and given us a wonderful wonderful event that is going to make so much money for these two organizations and so much awareness and have wonderful chili.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, my stomach is growling. I know you probably can't hear it. So that is certainly a great event that's coming up rather quickly. But you were talking about other things as well to get the public involved.
And there's also the Wing Madness. It's for the veterans. That's coming up. What are the dates?
The 12th of March.
The 12th of March.
Yep.
Wing Madness now, that I'm guessing then we're talking chicken wings.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, which should be a food group in and of itself, right?
Yes, very much so.
So where are you hosting this?
The Desmond Hotel.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yep. We have gotten one of the big rooms there, and it's going to be a come in, pay, and you can try any chicken wing you want. There will be a contest for the number of chicken wings you can have, and this was actually headed up by one of our other students, Adam Tenney, who his sister was past president. And he's involved in other things, so he wanted to take a role on this year and say, hey, how about we do something, in March, chicken wings, March Madness. Who doesn't want chicken wings, especially during that time?
I'm hearing a theme here. There's a food theme going on here.
We do love our food, yes.
So that sounds wonderful. Anything else that you want to tell us about?
I think that's about it. And then just Raider Fest, May 21st. It's going to be an awesome, awesome all-day event. And bring your kids, bring grandkids, bring nieces, nephews, cousins, whomever. They'll love it, and the adults will love it too.
Well, I should ask something too. When I keep saying the public's involvement, more than the public coming to the event, are there sponsorship opportunities or things that should we direct folks, or are you looking for folks who are volunteering maybe, or to?
Sure.
I'm throwing out a bunch of possibilities.
Sure.
It's a good forum for that.
One of our big things that we encourage is for community members to check out our websites. We have two websites, the southcolonyschools.org, under the Colonie High School tab at the top of the page, and we actually have an iCARE tab on that too on the side. Check out some of our news there. Raiderfest.org it is active right now. We are making changes to it. Actually, one of the teachers at our high school, Lisa Eicloser, is the admin for it, and she does a wonderful job with setting it up. And we are creating more tabs on that and more pages with that. So updates are always constantly going up. We have Twitter, our iCARE CCHS. Go follow those. And our Instagram is also iCARE CCHS.
Wow.
And we're on Facebook too.
And you're on Facebook. You're everywhere.
We have all the social medias, constantly updating as much as we can. And again, that's all student ran.
So that once again, this is you focused on from the beginning that iCARE is really about getting people involved who may not necessarily feel comfortable doing a lot of different things, but need a place that they want to feel comfortable, and it's about building and working with character, et cetera.
Right.
There may be, parents or other students that from other districts that are watching this. How difficult, how heavy a lift is it to start something like this at their school?
You just got to find the right kids, and find the kids that maybe, like you said and like I've said, don't really feel a place, maybe seem out of place in school, because I bet you that those are the kids that want to make a difference in the school. Might not know how, but this is a great start for them.
Mm-hmm. Kimmy?
If there's a will, there's a way. If they really would like to do it, then they would make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm putting you on the spot now, Kimmy, because you're the president in training. So what are some of the ideas and thoughts? I mean, you're in training, I know, but you must have some ideas that you want to, as you're working on already, some of your own, the chili challenge, the chili cook-off. What are some of the things that you see for iCARE in your future?
Just for it to keep growing more and more, have more students involved. We'd like to have the school involved, and just the mixture of different backgrounds of each kid involved for iCARE.
Do you see, or have you seen, John, have there been some challenges, any time where you felt like, I'm giving it my all and, geez, I just need to get over, I'm hitting a small brick wall, but
Sure.
it's still brick.
Sure. Through all my years of being involved in so many different things, I've learned as a leader, and a lot goes to my Boy Scouts, going through Boy Scouts, and I've learned that there's always going to be an obstacle. There's always going to be a hurdle. But you can always find a way around it, over it, under it, and there's always going to be people there that will help you, because I've known that I'm not the only one that wants to make a change in the school. There's 52 plus other students that want to. When they come out for Raider Fest, those kids, they know they are making a change in the school. So whenever I am faced with a barrier or anything like that, I can turn to my cabinet and I can turn to my adults around me and ask for help, and they are always there to help. And we don't do a lot of things individually in iCARE. We always get group involvement.
So it's a team.
It's a team. It's a family. Yeah.
What is the biggest takeaway that you have from your involvement? I mean, you're a senior. You've still got months and months to go before you head out. But what's made the biggest impression, iCARE, with you?
I think being able to talk to administrators such as Superintendent Jonathan Buter, and being able to, if I'm at a meeting with him for something else through PTA, I can go up to him afterward and say, "Hi, Mr. Buter, how you doing? I just want to throw some ideas out at you," and he thinks it's the greatest thing. So I think being able to meet people that are so important to our district and that make decisions every day and get their input in it and get their support, getting support from higher power, if you will, I've really learned to do and appreciate.
So I'm gonna ask you. You brought it up earlier. Who's your favorite superhero?
I'd have to say Batman.
Batman?
Batman, yes. And my mom. I have to say that because she'll watch us later. But I have to say my mom, yes.
Kimmy?
Captain America.
Captain America. Wow. Well, you do. There are all these superhero movies that are coming out this year, and we have the Batman versus Superman.
Yes, very
and
exciting.
Captain America. They're all. I'm not a big superhero, but my mom certainly my superhero.
Yes.
But interesting. So, what was the strangest? Or was there any superhero that someone said that you said, "Geez, I didn't even know about that one"?
Well, some of the students did say John, and I said, "Oh." And I turned to them, and I'm like, "Me?" And they're like, "Yeah, you." I'm like, "Okay, that's great." I guess I'm a kid's superhero for making a difference.
And Aquaman.
And Aquaman, that was another one.
Different one.
That was good.
Aquaman. Well, on that note, let's make sure that we give everybody the appropriate places to go. RaiderFest.org.
Yes.
To find out about RaiderFest. SouthColonyCentralSchools.org, and to go to the iCARE tab.
Yes.
To find out more. So thank you both for joining.
Thank you very much for having us.
I have been talking to John Cogan and Kim Murray, talking about iCARE. They're from the South Colonie Central High School. And this has been another edition of Albany County News. I'm Mary Rozak. We'll see you again soon.